Oftentimes we get told that we need to have the craziest gear on planet Earth instead of just focusing on the things that we already have at our fingertips. Now at the moment I'm intentionally limiting myself to either stock plugins or Max for Live devices. Partly because I'm too lazy to buy new things, and secondly because I want to save resources like money, energy, time for researching, and of course space on my hard drive and CPU, of course, right? So for this week's video I want to share 3 sound design techniques that I experimented with and that are all simple Ableton Live Stock plugins. So if you have Ableton Live Suite, you can adapt and let yourself inspired by those techniques so that you can hopefully write the tracks that you desire the most and pick out what works for you, for your style and for your workflow, and hopefully adapt them, right? Sounds good? Let's jump in. Hey friends, Ron here from roughandstudio.com. Now, before we start, as always, I want to give you something for free, whether if you're new to this channel or lurking for some time. I want to give you a free Ableton Live kick template. Lots of people already downloaded it and getting results out of it. So this template or preset is basically stock plugin based kick template, so you can basically make any kick out of it, deep, punchy, classic, 909, whatever you like, adding a click, and it's highly customizable, so you can kick off a new track idea just very quickly, and you can pitch it down very easily. So because the problem I found is often that we add new stuff to a track, maybe a bass line or whatever, and then the chosen kick sample that I wanted to use firstly doesn't fit anymore perfectly. So this is the tool that you can customize your kick towards the rest of the sounds that you add to your project. And yeah, again, it's for free. If you want that, just grab it in the description under the link below. And now let's jump over to Ableton and see what we can do in today's session. Thanks again for your time, thanks for your attention. This means really a lot. You could do anything else rather than watching this video, so I'm really glad that you spent some time with me here today. So yeah, now let's jump over. Cheers. For this week's video I want to basically talk about different ways on how we can use different simple tools inside Ableton Live, stock plugins, and yeah, those are some findings that I experimented with, and I was also inspired by other producers and stuff, of course, but then I adapted some stuff or added things. So keep this as an advice buffet, and maybe just pick what you like and then go from there, adapt it, evolve it, whatever, right? So those videos are simply meant as to be as an inspirational source, hopefully, and to kick off new ideas and whatnot on a weekly basis, right, for your Rominimal microhouse production. So yeah, now let's start with the first technique, and this is basically I was just using noise from Echo, because I call it the noise machine. So now let's explain this quickly, and I just run this track here quickly. Not sure about this piano stuff, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. I just want to make the point here with the sound design technique here. Okay, so here a noise. If we insert the Echo stock plugin, we have 3 different tabs here, right? And then if we go to character, we have a noise setting here, right? to make one from scratch, just to make the point here, echo, and I simply turn on noise, and then we have noise. Could make it ping pong. We can morph it, can dial it, right? That's already really cool, I would say. So that's one part, right? We simple noise, simple as that. Now what I like to do is using a gate just after the echo, and then use the sidechain, and I use the, just for the sake of showing you this, the bassline as a trigger source, right? Now let's mute this, let's mute the other one. Now of course we need to turn down the threshold. Right? So we basically simple triggering the bassline, and you can use a pad to spice up your pad, to add kind of a layer with noise, right? Simple noise. And the cool thing about this echo is we can really shape the noise a little bit with this morph, and also with the ping pong setting and the mid side dials and whatnot, right? And dry wet, of course. Now just quickly, what is a gate? A gate is basically an inverted sidechain compressor, but the compressor. And I like to think about the gate that it's as it says, a gate, right? So like a door, we open the door, the bassline says, hey, open the door, and we quickly open it, and then the noise is coming in, and then we close it again. So every time the bassline is knocking on that door, we open it quickly and then we close it. And with this attack, hold and release, we can determine how fast we want to open that fucking door, and close it. How fast do we want to close it, right? And we have the threshold, of course. The bassline is knocking on that door, and there's, if he knocks hard enough, we hear it, right? So this is the implication that we should open the door for him, for the bassline. This is probably a stupid example, but I just want to explain it so that you hopefully understand it. And we have a floor setting here, so kind of we can let the door open a little bit so we can hear the noise, right? Right, just to give you the context here quickly, probably a little bit too loud, right? Now, without the noise, very dry. Could play with those dials a little bit, and maybe try to add groove just with the simple noise in the background. Let's see if we can use another sidechain input, maybe a hi-hat, I don't know. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, you can again use any kind of sidechain input that you like, experiment, maybe a clap, maybe a pad, maybe a synth, whatever it is, and then play around with that. So that's technique number 1. I actually forgot to tell you, in this chain, I basically duplicated that, and I used some LFO triggering a filter here on random, but in sync, and yeah, here the gate, right, and auto pan. Then I have a second one here, just duplicated that, and then I used auto filter LFO, and you can see here the rate is really dialed up, so I get fast moving automation going on with the LFO frequency and resonance. Those two together with the noise. Just to give another layer, right? Hi-hat. Just in the background a little bit. And we can automate that, maybe volume writing, what I call, during the arrangement. Maybe just bring this a little bit up. With the technique that I showed you last week. So basically, no, you know what? No. Let's just use a LFO. Maybe smoothen it out a little bit. Maybe sine. Maybe a little bit offset. Right? Just to give a little bit more, grit. to the simple hi-hat pattern. Without it, we could even mute that now in the break maybe or something. Right? Just some ideas. Yeah, that's the thing about echoes. Next thing, what else do we have here? Okay, the next concept I want to show you is the custom swing machine. I call it that way, and if we ever listen here, without it, it's a simple pattern, and with it, almost sounds like a delay, right? But there's more to this. So basically, the concept of this is I use this MIDI effect called note length. And created the MIDI chain, right? And then I duplicated it 3 times, and then I used, as you can see, different dials on each of them, right? So here we can really customize the swing or the shuffle or whatever. To our liking, right? Without it, it gets a little bit wonky, but I sometimes like that, you know. And the cool thing is we can save that as our custom swing setting if we want to. Without it, it. It's subtle, but it changes certainly something in the background, I would say, in order of groove. Just very subtle and small things, I believe, added here and there make really a big difference in a whole track. Yeah, that's the thing about the custom swing machine. So again, if you want to make this by yourself, um, simply insert a plugin, note length, MIDI plugin, and then make a chain, dry maybe, and then so this is empty, then we have it here. We can maybe duplicate that, and I use one sync. Something like that maybe. Something like that maybe. Auto pan maybe. Again without this. And yeah, you can basically again really customize this swing and whatnot. Without. Yeah, this is the swing machine. Next thing I was doing here was not this gen step, but I have a shaker here. This one. Let's see. I was using some simple tools here. Again, auto pan. This is the plain sound, and simply using random, the random plugin, again MIDI on the MIDI effects, right? Maybe you already use it. I haven't used it because I thought, yeah, I haven't really thought about it. So yeah, chance all the way up to 100%, and mode to random, and then experimenting, right? And then velocity. Right, so give another variation on random from this simple sound. This works great for percussion and hi-hats and whatnot, especially for percussion and short sounds, of course, right? So all what we need is a random plugin MIDI effect and maybe velocity, and then that's it. And I like that too, so I save it. Yes, we can mix and match those techniques and whatnot. So for example, this note length, of course, always in context works better. About that, really like that. Right? Compare it again. Without context. Too boring, too boring. Yes. Floats around. I like it. Yeah, the next and last technique is getting really long, this video, I guess. But I have a couple of more, but yeah, just quickly run through this. And this is a sampler, and sampler has a lot of tabs here, right? And especially this pitch envelope is interesting, I would say. Basically everything is interesting in this sampler, but let's just jam a little bit. You can really shape the sound and how it interacts. Right? Almost like a bass. And by the way, the sample is this one. Just some textures, right? And then what I also did was the pitch. Again, using the pitch here with the modulation matrix LFO, and then I set a destination filter frequency and filter resonance. So we're controlling those tools here. So we get us those flattering sounds. I don't know how to call it. And if we change the type of waveform, we get different flatterings. Right? Let's turn it up without it. Without pitch. Without filter. That's the plain sound. No, sorry, I have some more stuff here. Okay. Now this is the plain sound. Filter, pitch envelope, and LFO. Drum bass. Yeah, lots of things to discover. I recommend using pitch, whatever filter. Yeah, lots of things you can really discover here in the sampler. By the way, this sound here was created equally. Just with different pitch and stuff. Right. The key ingredient here on this LFO is that we really dial up the frequency, so it's really fast. So we get those swirls, whatever it's called, those, yeah, how to call it? I don't know. You get the idea, right? Those. Yeah, hope some stuff resonates or inspires you to experiment with. And yeah, also wanted to add one little thing that I learned over time, which yeah, it's kind of a trap I found, because oftentimes, especially in beginners, think we need to know everything, every detail of all the tools, every plugin, sound design, whatever. But yeah, in the end, really, we just need to know enough so we get the desired result, right? We don't need to know every detail of every machine. Of course, we need to know how it works, the basics, right? So, for example, I don't know how how I don't know, frying pan is built. That's the most stupid example, but I know how to fry a dish. You know, I can cook something. I know where I can turn on the oven. I know where I can set the temperature, and it spits out the desired result, which is a dish that I like, right? If we compare it to some other stuff, relatable stuff. And I don't know how an oven is built, you know. I Other people should do that. I just care about the result and what it can do for me, and I just know enough that I can cook that dish. And same goes for plugins and music creation. I would say MIDI plugins, everything inside Ableton Live. Of course, it depends what you want to achieve, right? But as long as you get the results that you desire, I think everything is fine. And of course, simplicity always works best. Oftentimes, simplicity works better than complication, I found. But yeah, that's just my personal 2 cents on this. My question is, what did you overlook that was always at your fingertips, or did you underestimate? So maybe it was some stock plugins, maybe a plugin that you already had for a long time and forgot about it, and maybe you can pull it up again and experiment with it, even if you don't know everything about it, right? Yeah, and let me know in the comment section what those tools are, and what you came up with. Maybe you have other techniques that are quite simple and experimental. Yeah, that's it for this week. Thanks a lot for your time, for your attention. You could do anything rather than watching my videos, so thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your time. Hope to see you another time next week in a video, same time as always. Thanks. Cheers. Bye bye. Have fun while experimenting. Cheers.